Hi, it's Brian and welcome to another GarageBand tutorial where I'm going to create a song using only one sound pack. But this one's a little bit different because I was catching a train from the south coast of New South Wales, Australia, up to Sydney to go to one of my favourite record shops. And I was thinking, how am I going to pass the time? And I decided to undergo this experiment, this creative experiment on the train and see how far it would get me. So that's the premise. Let's get into it. So as always, we're going to start on the GarageBand recents and we're going to hit the plus sign at the top to come up with a new song, and then we're going to scroll along until we hit the sound library. And down the bottom we can see the artists and producers pack, and our victim today will be Take A Daytrip. So let's click on that. And they are a production and songwriting duo who designed growling bass patches, dialed in thunderous drum hits, and sampled an array of household items to create this next level collection of sounds. Whew, that's a challenge. And scrolling down, we can see the 24 keyboard patches and the 8 drum kits, which I'm really interested in. I don't use loops that often, but as we scroll back up, we'll be able to see that mine says downloaded, and yours in the top left hand corner, you just need to hit get if you don't already have that pack and it will download for you. So let's scroll across to the drums, and then in the top left hand corner hit recently downloaded and scroll down, and we can see Take A Daytrip. There it is, and the drums are there for us: Alphabet City, Brooklyn Borough, Burlington, Hillsborough, Soho, Washington. Let's experiment. Alphabet City, Brooklyn Borough, Burlington, ooh, Hillsborough. But I'm going back to Burlington because I'm looking for interesting sounds like this one, because I don't have the whole array of sounds, I've just got Take A Daytrip. Let's give ourselves some bars to work with, and you can hit the plus sign in the top right hand corner, and I usually like to go with around 150, 160 or so. And then next to that, on the wheel up there, we can hit the tempo and set that. My go-to for an EDM sort of song is generally about 120, but why not 115 today? Now let's get a bass drum and a cooking snare and let's see what I can do with it. Ooh, I'm going to use that. Yeah. But first let's go to settings, track settings, velocity sensitivity, and turn that off, because that will mean that every time we hit a drum the volume will be exactly the same. Okay, let's give it a whirl. Flipping back to our tracks, I'm going to use 2 fingers to expand, then tap on it, hit loop so it goes through the entire song, then hit on it again, hit duplicate to take us back to Burlington for the next sound. Ooh, I like that one. And here it comes after first adding in my snare. Alright, I like it, but my EDM DNA is telling me that the tempo has to get back to 120. Old habits. And here's the chord drum sound that I've come up with. Ow! To get our bass, we have to once again go to the keyboards and find Take A Daytrip by getting up to the recently downloaded, scroll down, Take A Daytrip, and let's find some basses now. Tompkins Square, Church Street, and a lot of synth basses down here. Let's find something. Alphabet City. Ooh. That's okay. Orton Road. Oh. Cortland Alley, please. It's kind of slinky. I-95, Rick Astley perhaps. Shelburne Road. Whoa, Let's see this bass, Tompkins Square. Nice. I like how you can go for all the different sounds with this bass. Yeah, change it up. Okay, hit record. Okay, it ain't perfect, but we'll fix that up later. Let's move on. Time to get into some keyboard sounds, and I always like those arpeggiated ones, and here's the Champion Sublime Synth. Hit and record. Now that's a nice bed. Let's line that. There it is in the tracks with one previous draft which I will get rid of. Okay, moving on. At this point I generally try and improvise some vocals, so we go into there and click on lead vocals, the image there, and we get a whole bunch of others. And I generally like to go with extreme stereo, but there are so many choices, so I need to find a quiet place once I'm up in Sydney to get some vocals done. So extreme stereo, and then the first thing I do is turn down the tone and the compressor. I just find that that gives me less hiss, so we bring both of those right down. And really importantly, in the bottom right hand corner we need to turn the monitor on, otherwise we won't hear anything, but I won't subject you to my vocals. Except for a little bit here where you're hearing me add another synth line. Now I'm well off the train, it's a few days later, but I did get a couple of cool records to listen to and inspire me, though not for this. But what I want to do now is add some more keyboard, and I want to run the arpeggiator. So in that right hand side there I'm going to click on the icon and slide it across, and there we have our menu: note order, note rate, octave range for a bit of I-95 silicon pluck. I'm going to leave it as played for the note order, and then down to the note rate, and the note rate is currently on 1/16. Here it is at 1/8 with a 2 octave range. Let's now try it for 1/32. That's insanity. So now let's go back to 1/8. But let's mix it up a bit with the octave range to a 4 octave range. And the last thing I'm going to do, left hand side, is I'm going to take it down a couple of octaves to give it a sort of a bassy feel. Wonder what it sounds like. Hey. Here we go. Creepy, freaky, and full of goodness. Beautiful. Objects in mirrors are closer than they appear. Hey. Hey. That's right, in the master volume up top we are peaking. Fix it please. And the first thing we need to determine is whether it's a musical instrument or vocals. Usually it's the vocals, so what I'm going to do is mute them all on the left hand side like this. And I've been through all of the instruments and it is a vocal problem. So how do we fix it? Well, unfortunately we have to go through the vocal tracks one by one or two by two until we have found the problem and adjusted the volume and mixed it properly, perhaps in the first place. But this is one of the things about recording in GarageBand. I'm not using a sophisticated studio or a sophisticated microphone. I'm just doing my vocals into my earbuds. So issues and problems will arise. The important thing, of course, is that it all sounds good in the long run in the final product. And it will. And the viol offender is on the main vocal tracks, and the last hey, aha are too loud. So I'm going to tap on them, split, tap and split, tap again and cut, tap again and cut. And I'm going to go right back to the start, and the first hey, ahas on those tracks, what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy and paste those from there to the end, and that will get rid of all of the problems. So we'll fix that up right now. And now we're going to tap on the track and hit copy, move the cursor all the way up to where we want it. There we have it. And then tap and paste, tap and paste, and tap and paste. I said I didn't like using loops. Well, here I go, and do the same for the other track as well. Let's test it out. Keep an eye on the master volume at the top. Bringing in all of the voices. Hey. Nothing going in the red there. Beautiful. And last, I'm going to trim down all the vocals, get rid of the bits of noise before them and the bits of hiss after them, and we're almost done. Beautiful. Cut, cut. And that's what it looks like. You can see that I've taken out some sections a bit more brutally than others, but generally there wasn't a lot of hiss that I had to worry about. So that's really looking good. But I couldn't stop myself, could I? So I've added some more vocals at the end, some human vocals, and I'm going to give them, bottom left-hand corner, some reverb to differentiate from the cold sort of AI feeling of the main vocals. Let's have a listen.
Don't want to love, don't want to lose, don't want to cheat, don't be abused. Don't want to trust, don't want to sink, don't want to cry or overthink. Don't.
Just a couple of last steps. Look at all that dark space there. We need to get rid of that. So hit the plus sign in the top right, and we're going to reduce the bar length from 108 to 104 to make it all snug and perfect. And there it is. Nice. And finally, I want to fade the song out. So up to the wheel in the top right-hand corner, you see fade out. Slide that on, and now the song will fade out. Huge. So I've skipped over quite a bit that I've done, but if you'd like to listen to the finished product, it's called What I Like, and it's a sort of AI take on What I Like About You by the Romantics. But I hope you've enjoyed this and learnt a bit along the way, and remember, just hit record.